Talking to Death is released every Friday and brought to you absolutely free. But if you want ad-free listening and exclusive bonuses, subscribe to Tenderfoot Plus at tenderfootplus.com or on Apple Podcasts.
Talking to Death is a production of TenderfootTV and iHeart Podcasts. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Talking to Death. It's a new week, and that means we have a new guest for you. If you listen to hip-hop, you can thank Jerry Clark. He joined the music industry in the 90s and has been pivotal in bringing hip-hop to Atlanta and the world ever since. He's helped to grow the careers of dozens of artists, many that you probably listen to today. He's also the host of the iHeart podcast, Storytime with Legendary Jerry, where he shares his wealth of experience in the music industry. Payne and Jerry had a chance to meet at iHeart Studios and chat about Atlanta. They talked about the hip-hop scene, both of their experiences working in the music industry. They talk about music videos, they talk about sports. They even go into some really personal subjects about themselves. So let's jump into it. This week, legendary Jerry Clark.
To me, I think you're Atlanta.
I sure am.
What does that mean?
I embrace the culture all the way around. And when I tell you, let me back up.
Okay.
So I moved here in 8th grade, which was high school at that point. And since then, I have jumped all the way in and really embraced what Atlanta really is. And as I've been in this music business for 30 years, I've really seen that we really we control what goes on with the culture. And I saw that when I first got here, from the dancing to the clothing to the dressing and everything. And I entrenched myself in this culture here in Atlanta, and I've been doing it ever since I got here. So Chicago is my birthplace, and I lived there, at the beginning. But Atlanta is my home, and this is now I'm ATL.
So what did you notice? Like, what was it like back then, and why is it like that? Why is it so impactful in the culture?
I'll take it back to Atlanta is one of those cities where it has grown since the black leadership of Maynard Jackson took over in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. A lot of other cities, they had black mayors in the early 70s, and they tapered off. Atlanta just kept growing and growing, and it goes back to the leadership of this city. From Maynard to Andy Young up until now, we've had great leaders in this city, and that's what sets Atlanta apart.
So like to use that foundational into like the growth of the culture?
Yes.
Past that?
Definitely.
Yeah,
oh,
that makes sense.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
Definitely.
People ask me, just because I'm from Atlanta, like, how do you say Atlanta? Only people are not from Atlanta.
You say it with a T? Atlanta?
If
Atlanta.
I'm talking to a bunch of like super white people, maybe.
You put the T in it? Hey.
Atlanta.
Where you from, Atlanta?
Yeah, it's like, okay, no, it's Atlanta.
But if you're around Atlanta?
Yeah. Then I start saying it.
You know what I hate to hear people say? Hot Atlanta. That shit's so corny.
God, like.
It's corny.
The fastest way to know that you know nothing about Atlanta is to say Hot Atlanta. Did we ever say that?
Payne, you're from Hot Atlanta.
No, I'm not.
Hot Atlanta, buddy. Yeah, Jerry, you from Hot Atlanta.
That's the classic Uber driver in like New York. Like, oh, Hot Atlanta. I'm like, don't ever say that again. And like, I know people who have more of a reason to be offended by that. That is so stupid.
Corny.
So I want to talk about the old days in the music industry when you got involved. Because, I mean, music evolution since the 90s. We've gone through so many different chapters here.
Yes, we have.
And and it's changing like by the year at this point, I feel like. But this is in the day of tapes and CDs. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like, I feel like this was like the heyday of the music industry, right?
Oh, it definitely was the gold. It was the golden day. It definitely was gold.
Yeah, and just tell me about how you got into this and what it was like.
I came in the business. I actually interned for 2 labels, and that's how bad I wanted it. I was working.
Why'd you want to do that in the first place? Grow up like listening to hip hop.
I had family. My uncle, rest in peace, my uncle Stanley Bethel. He was very instrumental in me wanting to get in the music business because he was in the business and I watched how he moved.
Cool.
And he used to take me to some of the music conferences, the Jack the Rapper conference, the BRE conference with him. So I got, my
You got the
eyes
bug.
were big. Yeah, I got the bug. And
did you look up to him?
oh, definitely.
Like you wanted to be like, I want to be like him. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I had my father as a great male figure, and I had my uncle Stanley Bethel, who was like a mentor / uncle, just a life. He just helped guide me with a lot of decisions. Of course, I had my dad, so he definitely guided me. But Stanley Bethel was that guy.
Yeah.
For me. And he was in the business, and he had a lot of big positions over the years. So he used to take me with him, and my eyes were big, and I was like, okay.
How old were you?
Initially, Payne,
You're a
I'm
kid,
be
right?
honest.
Yeah,
teenager. Initially, I wanted to get in it for the glamour and the glitz.
I mean,
Be real.
it's
the
a
music
cool part
business.
of it.
Oh shit!
It's a pretty fun part of it.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah. So I wanted to get into it for the glamour and the glitz, and Stanley Bethel told me something, and I never forget it. He told me, he said, Jerry, I was a teenager. He said, you have a certain gift that only a small percentage of people on this planet have.
Wow.
He said, when you walk in a room, people gravitate to you, and you have this gift, the gab that a lot of people don't have. So he said, you can either go into politics,
Right.
you could be a preacher, a pimp,
Boring.
Payne, a preacher, pimp, or go into the music business.
Right. Hey, well, here you are.
And the music business chose me. So I was interning at 2 labels,
Okay.
and I started grassroots. I was the street promotion rep. Snippet cassettes, putting posters on the wall in retail stores, poster boards on the pole, walking down the street. So that was my entry point to the music business, and I got it the grassroots way. And I know a lot of great executives that's how they started.
Donald Albright.
Yeah, Donald Albright, Lenny S.
Guerrilla marketing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
and
that
Donald
foot soldier
That's
shit,
a
right?
perfect example because Donald Albright and his team, D-Day Entertainment, they were very good. Like they were younger than me, so as I was transitioning more into the executive space, they were like that team.
Okay, like
guys.
new guys or something.
Yeah, and they were good. So I just started growing in that, and labels started taking note, and then I started graduating where I started doing more, building relationships with radio station program directors and music directors and mix show guys. So I started transitioning more into the radio promotion game, and it brought me, from the street. And then of course labels start going away from the street market. Like, why do we have a budget with that? Is it really working? And then when the internet came and social media, they really was like, we don't need it. But Payne, you look at it now, there's nothing like guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. It still works.
Exactly.
And I see it, and I hope that it starts coming back where people are still hand to hand. Don't get it wrong. You could press one button on your phone, on a computer, and reach millions, but it's never owed for hand to hand and guerrilla marketing.
It's kind of almost like the
started.
value of a live performance or something.
Exactly.
Right? It's like you
that's the
can't beat
perfect
it.
analogy.
Yeah.
Perfect one. That's exactly what it is.
It's hard to get content out there.
Yeah.
Like more than ever. Every day it gets harder, I feel.
Yeah, because a lot of labels, a lot of artists, a lot of creatives have gotten lazy because they feel like, we got TikTok, we got Instagram, we just, you still have to build your brand. You still have to build it. And that's what I look back on a lot. I mean, you look at, like, for example, for you to release 2 albums in 1 year and both of them to go platinum, I'm talking about DMX back in, I forgot what year.
That's actually crazy. That's a crazy statistic.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And
these are in the days when you had to go in a record store.
Yeah. Those are physical
and buy
things. Yeah.
And buy the record, whether it was a CD.
It's a million
whatever.
people.
Yeah, come on, man. Twice in a year. Now artists are coming out. Now the streaming it just threw a whole monkey wrench in. The artists, you can't make no money. I think it was Snoop Dogg. I saw something recently where he did did a graphic on how artists are not getting paid from streaming.
Yeah.
Like I think he said something like he had 1 billion streams and maybe made, I forgot what it was. It was like 40, 50,000.
That's not sustainable,
crazy, man.
right?
Come on, man. 1 billion.
Like, that's crazy, right?
A billion streams.
A billion of anything, you should be getting millions at least of dollars. Yeah.
Anything.
The problem is, it's like, once the streaming music was introduced as a consumer, you can't go back.
Yeah.
It's like, we say that, but it's like, what'd you listen to on the way over here? Did you pop a CD in? Did you stream it?
Yeah, of course.
Right, exactly.
Of course,
and like,
yeah.
that sucks. Like, I still support artists that I really love, like by going and buying the thing or whatever, or paying the extra thing.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad when I see like folks like Killer Mike and Run the Jewels, they still release like vinyl. And
And
I
they're
love
all
that,
dope
man.
covers. Like, you want that in your living room, right?
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. So, I mean, so that's back to that's how I got started in the music business. I was a street promotion rep, and then my name and my brand and my cachet just started growing and growing over the years, where I started becoming a real power player and that person to connect dots.
And so, give me an example of connecting the dots in the music business back then that resulted in a major success for you.
Well, I have a few of those stories.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one. I don't know if this fits directly into your question, but I'll give you something that's close.
Sure.
I started doing some work for Reebok, and I created an urban seeding program.
Okay.
Where I sent out 2-3 pair of shoes a month to, at that point, the tastemakers, folks on the radio. Even I found some old paperwork. Ludacris was at the radio station. He worked at Hot 97, Hot 107. Like folks like that were like out and about.
Yeah.
And I sent them 2-3 pair of shoes a month and said, just give us your feedback. And we will put it in like in a report and send it to Massachusetts to
Wow,
Reebok.
that's kind of ahead of its time. I feel like that's like data that like
it
the internet
definitely.
now, but it's like
I was ahead of my time with a
hey,
few
no,
things.
that's good. That's
with
dope.
a few things.
Yeah.
So we took that, and then it came about where I was in a meeting with Reebok and on a conference call way before the days of Zoom.
Yeah.
And I told them that you all are missing out on a huge opportunity to really get involved with, at that point, the biggest label and some of the hottest artists in the South. And they were from New Orleans. It was Cash Money.
Wow.
I was like, because they talk about Reeboks all the time. That's like that, Rees and Jabos. And I said, there's even a certain shoe that if you go into any Champs Foot Locker in the South, in New Orleans, in Atlanta, and you say, hey, let me get the Soldier, they're going to go in the back and get it.
Which one was the Soldier?
It was like it's hard. I don't know how to describe it. It was
Yeah.
it was the
I'll
Soldier.
Google it.
Yeah. So, and they couldn't believe it. And I was like, this is an opportunity now. I said, they're that next big thing.
Yeah.
So, Birdman, he flew in town. Greg Street from V103 hooked the meeting up, and we met. And he was interested. He, of course, he was like, the money got to be right. So we met, and then he flew back again by himself, and me and him met at a strip club during the daytime and talked about it. And I went back to Reebok and was like, hey, let's figure out how to do this. I sent on one of those early Cash Money Lil Wayne tours, I sent them, I'm talking, I can't even, it was like shoes upon shoes upon shoe, Reeboks.
You
just
laced them
boxes.
up completely.
Oh, yeah, laced them up, Reeboks. I just wanted to make sure that going into a potential partnership that everything was going to be cool. But, Reebok, they didn't get it. And like I say,
It
like
seems unimaginable now.
yeah, we was ahead of our time,
Yeah.
and then I know they look back like, damn, look what Cash Money, Young Money, look at what they become. But but then a couple years later, I saw them doing a partnership with like Jada Kiss and stuff,
Yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't mad. I was just
They
like,
came
damn.
around to it because they missed the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, but plus, the South, we still, we still didn't get that, like, it was a respect thing. New York, it was like, yeah, we rock with New
In
York.
the music scene, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
When do you think
Definitely.
that really changed or started to change?
Well, we forced it. We forced the issue when we started really taking over. And that's what my podcast is about, is really talking about the narrative of Atlanta and the South, because, and I say this all the time, I've said it on my show plenty of times, I've said it speaking, we just celebrated 50 years of hip hop, Payne.
Damn.
And at least 25 of those years, the South has really run this shit.
Damn. I mean, I can't disagree with you on that.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
There's the numbers back it up, and it's just
all
fact.
your other cities are cute, but
yeah, the South, Atlanta took the baton, and then Miami, Houston, Memphis, New Orleans. I mean, the South, we've been it's been a stranglehold on it. So in a way, we forced everybody's hand.
Yeah,
like you had to rock with us.
Yeah,
you had to.
Yeah,
because
cool.
Guess what? We was controlling the narrative.
Either way, we're coming and we're here, right? Yeah. And then the
you look at
for itself.
You look at the music since '99, 2000. I mean, like I said, I love New York stuff. I love when the West Coast, with Snoop and Dre and all them was doing Cube. But the South, it hasn't been a run like we've had. Come on,
right?
Man.
It's like it hasn't ended, I guess. Yeah.
It still hasn't. And even when people was like, "Oh, Atlanta, it's over. It's a wrap." You had Killer Mike win 3 Grammys. You look at the Super Bowl show, and that was an Atlanta show, the halftime show. I mean, shit. And true enough, when Thug, when he got his legal stuff, I was like, we got to take a hit because Thug he's incredible as an artist. He's huge.
One of my favorite.
Oh, Thug is that dude.
Yeah, I mean,
he's that dude.
Though.
So yeah, I mean,
arguably influenced a lot of the rappers today, right?
Oh, definitely. Thug is that dude.
When he first came out with that Stoner, we were like, not only who is this, but what is this?
No, Thug is that dude.
Right?
So Atlanta, we took a hit when he went down. We did. We took a hit.
Sucks.
But guess what, though? Atlanta influences everything, Payne.
So did you know a guy named Matty P?
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Wait, hold on. Yes. Yeah, I didn't know him like that.
Matthew Pearson.
Yes.
Yeah. I knew him pretty well because we were in a band together. Like a alternative hip hop group. So I'm from Kennesaw, the suburbs, right? Mm-hmm. I'm probably 20 years old at this point, and I'm making these parody videos online, and I'm at the apartment complex office because my internet sucks, and I'm uploading this video to YouTube of like me rapping with my friends, and this guy is in there who also lives in the same complex, and he introduced himself as an artist manager. I ended up signing an artist, like a management deal with this person. Yeah. Got out of it later, but he introduced me to Matty P. And next thing you know, the Kennesaw kids are driving down to Atlanta. And the first day that I was in the studio with Matty, Lloyd comes through, and he hops on a song with me. And I'm like, holy shit, like what is happening? Whoa. We're the only white dudes in the room. And they're like, and like, we feel like, why are they fucking with us like this? Also, they're like, it's like, and ever since then, I've been kind of in my own way, from music videos to the music, like been around the hip hop culture in Atlanta and like the actual professional side. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the dopest thing ever. Yeah. And like,
you have to be in it to really, I try to tell people from other parts of the country, you got to really be in it to really feel it, man. Yeah. It's like it's just like the piggyback off your story. It's just like a certain camaraderie here in Atlanta.
For sure.
Like you say, you in the studio, Lloyd just pops up again. Right. I've been in the studio where in one room, it might be 2 Chainz, another room, it might be Tip, and another room, it might be whoever, Jeezy. Yeah. Like, it's just, it's that and that's one of the main reasons that Atlanta has really taken off. We got a different type of Southern camaraderie here, man.
Absolutely.
And it seems as though, we're not perfect, because it's still, of course, it's cliquish and a little hate, but still the reason we've been able to thrive is that we put a lot of that to the side. And it goes back to what I said a minute ago, the culture of the city. Even when Maynard Jackson started really putting his stamp on making Atlanta a true international city, he was like, we're going to put all this BS to the side and we're going to work together.
Yeah.
And we're going to make this city what it is. Black, white, we're going to make us some money. Make
right.
This
like we're in the money-making business.
Yeah, we're going to make this city great.
Yeah.
And then years later, we're going to get the Olympics, and then, we're going to really take off and be an international city. So it goes back to that. It's just the culture of this city, man. It's amazing, man. I love Atlanta.
So what year did you get to Atlanta?
8th grade, so 86.
86. Okay.
And I've been
you
here
weren't
since.
here during the Atlanta child murders.
No, I was right.
Were you aware of it at the
Of
time?
course,
Like at
of
the
course.
time?
Because it's interesting you said it, because I remember my dad was watching 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, them folks down in Atlanta, crazy. They tripping. They killing all these kids.
Right.
A few years later, we living out here.
Right.
Payne,
Yeah, I mean, that was during his reign, Maynard Jackson, I believe.
Yes, yeah, it sure was. It sure was.
But yeah, my dad was going to Georgia Tech at the time, and like, he was even scared
Yeah.
because no one knew what the hell was going on. And
Yeah,
it's
that was a huge blackout for the city, and fortunately, we bounced back from that.
absolutely.
Yeah, but it definitely was, and a lot of people caught a lot of flack for to continue that long.
It exposed some things. I think.
Shit.
Not just Atlanta too, like nationwide.
Yeah.
FBI.
Yeah,
like,
it pulled the covers back on a lot of different issues. Not
It
just,
really
like you say,
did.
not just facing this city, but facing this country. And when you pull the sheets back, you're like, okay, some bed bugs, and it looks neatly made and it looks nice, but you pull it back and it's a bunch of bed bugs, then you realize that it's real big. It's bigger than what we think it is on the surface.
yeah, and bed bugs are no fun.
Shit, nah, man,
It's not fun at all.
not at all.
Do you think that hip hop has gotten more popular in the last 20 years?
Shit.
I mean, that's a facetious. I know the answer to that, but like, tell me how. Why is that?
Well, when you look at it, once again, it uses this word culturally, and you go to Asia, you go to, whether you in Tokyo, or whether you in Europe and Germany, or whether you in you name it, you look at the influence of hip hop worldwide, and it has blown away all of what I thought it was going to be. I mean,
Paris or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, it's like, and I remember my parents, they used to say, oh, this rap stuff is like breakdance. It'll be gone in a few years.
Right. Which, I mean, I guess at the time, it was in the like infancy of what was about to be the biggest thing ever.
Ever.
Right.
I mean, and you look at the popularity now, I'm like, wow, this is really worldwide. Even like, it's still like, even when I see certain things now, like I saw some MCs in Japan the other day, like battling. I was like, and I saw how they were dressed, and I was like, damn. I was like, man, this hip hop culture is really worldwide. Not that I didn't know that before. It's just every time I see something like that, then I'll see some guys in a cipher in like Paris, and and I'm like, battling, just freestyling in French. I'm like, wow, man,
It's crazy.
This
And
is
like
crazy.
you can see and hear Atlanta in it.
I'm
Are you proud of that?
I'm definitely proud, because I was part of it. I helped contribute to it. And that's why I'm proud of it.
You laid some of those bricks like that.
Oh,
never gone away.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I was definitely firmly entrenched in pushing Atlanta forward. And it's, this business has been great to me. Then it has its moments where it has caused me some of the worst anxiety I've ever had.
Give me an example.
Just dealing with pain, just dealing with some of the phoniest motherfuckers you ever come across.
Promoter types or what?
Just
all
people,
types. But
people in all phases of this music business. It's just so many $3 bill ass motherfuckers, man, and it wears on you, man. It wears on you when people I sit here with you and, hey, Payne, we're gonna do this deal.
Yeah.
Let's get, and then you don't return no calls or no emails.
Like, are we on the same page? Are we doing this?
Like what happened? Like,
Do you really want to?
and then you'll see them a few months later. Hey, man, what's up with you, dog?
Yeah, after you've popped off and done some other thing, or
What the fuck, bro? Like, we sat down and had 2-3 meetings. We shook hands, said, hey, let's get that turn. This the deal we're going to do. These are the numbers we're going to have. And you just disappear.
That's honestly why I quit the music video.
Yeah, this shit
business.
is-
It's the same shit.
And then, like, there's, like, ethical is just, hey, man, it's
Yeah.
it wears on me. But I'll say this, like, I've made great money in this business. I raised a family. So, it's just situations like that, man. It's just, like I say, the industry has been great to me. It's been great. I've provided a great life for myself and my children. But it has been it definitely has been some moments where I questioned, especially the one pain that really made me really pull back from the business when a close friend, he wasn't just a colleague, he was a close friend of mine. When he killed himself,
Damn.
that's what made me say, is this business really worth it? is it worth it? And I want to say rest in peace to my brother Shakir Stewart, one of the smartest, just genuine dudes you would ever meet. Had 2 beautiful kids, beautiful fiance. You know, it ain't about material things. We had the nice cars, the big house.
How did he get to that point, you think?
I don't know. I wish me and him could, and we spoke all the time because he's the one.
Was it a shock to you that happened, like out of nowhere?
Yeah, it was a shock to everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah. It was a shock to me because, like I say, when you look at it, he had it all, and he just had the whole swagger. He was just one of them dudes that you wanted to be around and be with. He was cool like that. Yeah, it sent me into depression because I just kept in my mind saying, damn, Shake, you had it all. I just kept saying that, and I'm like thinking like, bro, like what? Why didn't you holler at me? We just talked a few days before, like what was going on, dog? So when that happened, and actually he's one of the motivating factors. The reason I do story time with Legendary Jerry is because I wanted to bring spotlight to those behind the scenes, like a Shakir Stewart, like a Clay Evans, rest in peace, Clay Evans, who made so many things happen.
These pivotal
so
players
many artists. Or you don't see us because we behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So when I look at people like those guys, they are definitely a motivational factor for me to do story time with Legendary Jerry podcast. But the Shakir death that sent me pain. It knocked me down.
How did you overcome that, and how did you not stay depressed about that, and eventually somehow work that into a positive thing to propel you forward in like memory of that? Like how did you make that switch?
Good question. I don't even remember. I just know that I had told myself that I didn't even want to be in the business no more. I said, I don't want to do it no more.
Wow.
I had just started my foundation, the Jerry Clark Foundation, and I was doing some things in the community, and I was like, maybe I should do this to really make a change in the community.
Yeah.
To start deprogramming and reprogramming the minds of young, especially young black males.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I got to make a positive, not that I wasn't making a positive difference in the music business. I just felt like I needed to do something more because I lost somebody that I considered to be very close to me. And I'm looking at my 3 small kids at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just pull back from this shit.
Like, what's more important, all these things that come with my success,
Right.
or like the people that I love in the process, right?
But then it hit me like a ton of bricks a year and a half, couple years later, that even though I was making cool money, I wasn't making the money that I was making in the music business. And I was like kind of backed into a corner, Payne, because I said, this is all that I know.
It's a scary feeling, right?
Is this music business.
So if you weren't doing music, would you have gone back to, whatever, right?
What?
Yeah. Who knows, right? Yeah.
I mean,
that thought scares me. I'd be just your bad server at fucking Houston.
That's so. So I was just like, I was backed into a corner. Like, okay, this is all I know. I'm good at what I do. I have great relationships in this business. Let me start easing my way back into it. But like I say, the situation with Shakir's story, that hurt me for a while. It definitely pained. It knocked me on my ass. Like I say, because suicide and mental health, in the black community for a long time, for many years, it was just kind of swept under the rug. Just pray about it. Just pray.
Right.
I mean, don't get it wrong. Prayer is great.
Right.
But that was it. Just pray about it.
Yeah.
Now, you
like,
depressed,
just, do, right?
Yeah. You're depressed, you're bipolar, pray about it.
Right. Yeah.
So that really, it made me start looking at my mental health and like, okay, I got to really make sure that I'm good because I have kids and I got to make sure that they're good. And then it's crazy. After all that, a couple years later, I was in a bad car wreck and I started having anxiety.
Damn. After the car wreck?
Flipped over. Yeah. Flipped over. Couldn't fly for a whole year.
So what did the anxiety feel like, or what does it feel like for you? I feel like it's different for everybody, right?
Yeah, it is.
But how would you describe it?
Mine was, it made So give you an example. Right after the car wreck, the paramedics came. They tried to put me in the back of the ambulance. They tried to close the door, and the walls were like closing in on me. I said, I got to get out of here. They was like, no, you can't. I said, I can't ride back here.
Yeah.
I was like trying to get it.
You were like, this is not
freaking
what we're
out.
doing right now. Yeah.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
Got me to the hospital. You know, I didn't have any internal bleeding. They let me go. 2 days later, I'm driving, sitting in traffic on Peachtree by Houston's. Cars bumper to bumper. I fucking hopped the fuck out. Like, sweating. Like, what the fuck?
You just hop out of the car.
Because I felt like I was sitting in traffic.
Oh, wow. This sort of like
So I
claustrophobia feeling.
Yes, that's exact. So I started tripping. So I chilled. And then I was working at, I was working at Island Def Jam, you know, because Shakir and Jermaine Dupri had brought me. So the office in New York.
Yeah.
And I tried to fly up. And I was walking through the airport, got on the train, started having an uneasy feeling, pain. Mm-hmm. Went down the escalator onto the train. I was uneasy. Got to my gate. I was cool. Got on the plane. Doors closed. Plane starts backing up. I start freaking the fuck out.
Damn.
Pressing the button.
Oh,
so
shit.
I got to get off.
Did you get off
Tried
the
to
plane?
open the door. They pulled back in and let me off.
Oh, wow.
Next week, I tried to do it again. This time.
Now are you even more anxious about trying it again?
Yeah.
Or is there a little bit of buildup where you feel that little feeling and you're like, don't go down this
next
slippery
time
slope?
I flew the following week, I said, I got to get to New York because I got meetings. This time, the anxiety kicked in like before I was even going down the escalator to the train.
Oh, wow.
So when I get on the flight, this time I'm breathing, trying to breathe. This time the plane gets all the way out on the runway. With third for takeoff, I don't know what the fuck happened. I just started bugging the fuck out.
In the moment, are you like
trying to get
thinking
off the plane
about why this is happening, or like, or trying to rationally explain it?
Definitely.
And it's not possible.
It was like I was closed in, like I couldn't do nothing.
Like it was like you weren't even operating yourself anymore, or something, like an instinctual response.
Yeah, so
which is scary. Yeah,
they had to go around, pull the plane back in. This time they had the paramedics waiting on me, and I never forget. It was just like little old black lady there. She was like, "You got anxiety, son." You're like, what? Have you had something serious happen to you lately? You might have PTSD. I was like, what is this lady talking about, man?
Right. And like, so in that moment,
I was looking
at
her like they put me on a little thing. I was like, I'm cool. I could
I'm
walk.
Good, right?
Yeah, I could walk. I'm cool. I'm just tired. I ain't been sleeping.
Yeah, it's like I've been working hard, right?
I went to the doctor, tried to get on the elevator. The doors were closed. I freaked out, pressed the thing, jumped. I walked up like 5 flights of steps.
Damn.
And they was like, yeah, you got you. Then I went to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And they start prescribing medication, which, you know, that's like they quick to write a prescription for some shit. So, but I took it upon myself to start doing yoga. I did hypnotherapy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like unpacking like childhood memories and stuff and trauma, or like
hypnotherapy.
Hey, stop doing this.
Hypnotherapy is very interesting, Payne.
I bet it is.
I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word weird because that.
Right.
Let's just say it was interesting.
Like, do you have tapes of yourself?
I can't find them, but I had them.
Right. That sounds scary as hell.
You put the headphones on, sit back in a recliner, and they talk to
So does it work? Or are you like...
It helped me.
Like, did you go into a trance, or what is it?
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, this shit is different.
Because I've read and heard that the way that hypnosis works is that really you have to consciously allow yourself to do it.
Because I fell asleep, and then I would wake up, like, feel like I was snoring. And she'd be like, but I remember at the beginning what she was saying. She would be like, you've been flying. You know, she had that voice, you've been flying your whole life. We're like, come on, you've been on elevators, Mr. Clark. It's nothing. You can't die when you had to keep telling yourself, you're not going to die. Like, why are you acting like you're going to die? Why are you panicking on the airplane?
Interesting. And so this worked for you?
It helped, along with yoga and a little bit of medication. I mean, I'm just.
Seriously, like that's like
a little bit of medication up to.
Yeah.
No, between those two, between yoga, hypnotherapy, and a little bit of medication, that helped.
So how do you manage it now? Anxiety in general.
Stay away from people, fuck boys.
Seriously, though, right?
Yeah, people that's full of shit.
It's like, I don't care how well you've treated your anxiety. One of those fuck boys will get you on
people that bring negative, demonic ass energy.
Yeah. Don't make me think like that again.
And I went from 2 medications to 1, and I take my little 20 milligrams every day. And
like I like that regimen.
And I do things. I travel. I smoke cigar. My kids are grown now.
What kind of cigars you like?
Man, I like so many. I just like a good cigar.
I used to smoke cigars like when I was like 18 through 22.
You started young.
It's the weirdest thing. I worked at this restaurant. And
were they cigars or were they like Black and Milds? And Black and Mild ain't a cigar, man.
You're right. That's not a cigar.
Yeah, because I got cats that say, look, Payne, I had people say, man, I smoke cigars. I'd be like, what you smoke?
No, I'm talking
Black
about Maduros. I'm talking about Romeo y Julietas.
Yes. I like those.
Romeo y
yes.
Julietas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cohibas, all that. Yes.
Cohibas. I like the
ATL
Kahlua
cigar. Yes.
You ever had that one?
I haven't had it. You mean with the Kahlua taste?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's got some body to it. It's not.
Really?
But I used to, like, while I was working as a host at this restaurant in Marietta, there was a cigar store there.
Yeah.
And like when we were dead, I would go over there. And I would literally sit in there smoking a cigar, and I get like a call or text from the restaurant, like, "Dude, where are you?"
And you in
like,
that
looking
pub.
back on it, I'm like,
you in
"Holy
there puffing.
shit!" Yeah.
You in there puffing. Like, oh, I'll be there in a minute.
Like it's worse than you think.
Be over there in a minute.
I was like, "Wow, how did I not get fired?"
So that's what I do to now I'm older, I'm wiser.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again, I stay away from people with bad energy. I don't want to be around. If you bring in some negative energy, I don't want that shit, man.
Yeah. Why do you think it is that there's a concerted effort to take down Young Thug?
Ooh.
I know that's a deep, multi-pronged question, but
do you think it's a concerted effort? When you say concerted effort, by who?
Atlanta.
A politician? Not Atlanta. You mean
not Atlanta as the city? I guess the DA and the people who prosecute.
I haven't really, just to be very transparent, I haven't really been watching a lot of it because you can go on social media and you see some of the clips and like it's some real foolishness. Like it's like a fucking.
It's kind of like fucking cartoonish.
And I'm like it is. And I'm like, at what point do they just say like this shit is a shit show?
That's what I keep thinking in my head.
Let the guy
but
out
they're doubling
and let him
down.
go home. Yeah,
that's why I'm saying concerted effort, meaning like it seems like they didn't like the hip hop rap star part of this.
Oh yeah,
and like they went to go look for something, and then they found whatever they found.
Yeah,
which started with them looking for something in the first place, and that to me is just so. Like, I can't look past that. I'm like, why you guys pick on him? Like, what is it about? What's so wrong with this? I don't know. Like, it's...
You see a young dude. He's very successful financially. He's, and I've met him twice. And he's cool, funny guy, great personality. Then you have people that feel as though, like, I'm going to use this situation to take my career to the next level. It's just like I don't know. Like it's just like I just kind of I've been asked this question a few times, and I stay away from it because it's politics.
Politics.
And no matter where I go with it, like I say, I like Thug, the DA, or I don't know. Yeah, the DA. I know she's she might have some political endeavors in the future. Mm-hmm. So it's unfortunate for the city. It's unfortunate it's just unfortunate all the way around.
Yep.
And I hate it, man. Like I say, man, to see this guy drag through. I mean, like I say, I like that, not just musically, but a couple of times I met him. Mm-hmm. He seemed like a very solid young man.
Yeah.
And I know people from that area, Cleveland Avenue, that say the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'll say it again. It's just unfortunate all the way around. Man.
Yeah,
I hate it, man. I hate it, bro.
Yeah.
So
I met him a few times. Like he would never remember me, but I directed a few music videos. One with actually T.I. and Young Thug in it. But also Tip was always cool as shit too. Like,
oh yeah, Tip is one.
They were always a fun duo. Like on a song.
Tip is one of the coolest people you ever meet.
Like for real though.
Yeah,
like he's also funny as shit. Like
Tip is cool, man. He's definitely funny. I see why he's doing comedy now. He's really growing in that comedy space.
Like he's like a all around like star. Like
Tip is a funny guy, man.
Yeah,
he's funny, and I'm glad to see that he's starting to really become successful in that comedy space.
Yeah.
I love to see that because he's a good dude, though.
No, for real.
Tip is a good dude.
Yeah, family dude. Like,
Yeah,
also,
he's a good
like,
dude.
Yeah, he was always like, I mean, he always did remember me, which I don't. It's like you remember when someone remembers you when you're on the other side of the camera and you're like just a dude. Like, I've done a lot of rap videos. Some of them are like they roll up and they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Who the biggest artist you done?
Let's see, Young Thug, T.I. I did almost all of August Alsina's videos.
Really?
That's how I met Donald in the first place.
Okay. Noontime
so a lot of
over there
features,
with Noni
DJ Khaled, met him. Also, he was funny because like I flew to Miami last minute. Rick Ross was there, and we shot this really dope video at this cathedral that we rented that was like crazy. And my mind was blown when I saw DJ Khaled in person, just being DJ Khaled. I was like, this guy is just literally says like another one and stuff like in person. And like I was telling my friends, and they didn't believe me, but now it's like that's what.
No, Khaled is a cool ass motherfucker
like,
too, man.
I was like, I respect this guy so much more now.
He got good energy. He brings that good energy.
It makes sense now. It's like that. Yeah. He's that.
That's how you want to be. Where you want to just be happy. He seems to be happy.
Like,
He seems to be.
Right, exactly.
He seems to be very
his
happy.
energy is infectious.
He's got great energy, and when I tell you, back when he was at the radio station in Miami, and I used to talk to him about getting records played, mix show, or whatever, he was the same way. He was cool.
Right.
He was cool. It wasn't no like Hollywood. I'm sure people may have different story, but with me, it was never no Hollywood shit, never no high side industry shit. He was just cool, man. So I pull for people like that. I like to see people like that win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to pull for people that's not on that bullshit.
Like you said earlier, that part of the appeal when you first got into the business was like the glitz and the glamour.
It was.
And I get that. Like, I kind of like as a creative person and who's like been a music artist and like, looks at his work like it's art. Like that's, not to be corny, but like I also have always aspired to like be at the maximum potential of, not necessarily being famous, but like if that's the byproduct of the world seeing my work, then that's what I crave, that part of it. Like the biggest audience there is for something I care a lot about. And, over the couple of years, like having successful podcasts and building Tenderfoot with Donald, like I've gained like some followers on Instagram, like not a lot compared to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I've noticed like other people around me who like I've never even thought about it, but they're bringing up to me like they think I'm an influencer. And I'm like, bro, that's the new profession now, bro.
Well,
I do this work. People have just gone out of their way to follow me here. I don't make any money on this shit. But I don't care about that.
You're an influencer now. You got to put that on your resume. You're an
influencer. Yeah, I'm gonna start selling creams.
Yeah, I'm an influencer.
Yeah,
Payne Lindsey, the influencer.
Yeah. Give me 3 things that are the most Atlanta right now.
3 things, 3 people, or 3
things like. Or ways of doing something, or like not people, but like culturally.
Lemon pepper wings is
okay.
That's Atlanta.
Yeah. And they're good.
Damn.
Where do you get your wings from usually? American Deli?
No.
What do you mean no?
No. JR. It's only.
I fuck with JR Crickets too. Yes.
I go to JR Crickets.
That's right.
And let me tell you, of course, going to your question, things that are Atlanta.
That's very Atlanta. Yeah.
Magic City is Atlanta. Is Atlanta through and through. Not because of the naked women dancing in there. Not because of the wings that we talking about.
Which are good.
Yes, they are great. But you got a black man that's been owning this business and this building in the heart of the city since 85 or 86.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. In the heart of Atlanta.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more Atlanta than that.
It doesn't.
Than Magic from Magic City.
Yeah.
You think about it. A black man owning that property down in the heart of the city, Magic City, that's Atlanta.
Okay, so that's 2. What's another Atlanta?
What were the 2?
So you got lemon pepper wings, Magic City.
And those are kind of tied in together. Damn.
Right. You do both those at the same time.
No, they're separate. Okay, so lemon pepper wings is Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
Magic City is Atlanta. I don't want to sound corny and say the music, but
I mean, if you like zoom out, like obviously the music would be one.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like growing up listening to the rappers that I listen to from Atlanta and just hearing them like shout out roads that like I'm driving through.
Yeah.
Like I didn't come from there, but also there's rappers from everywhere in Atlanta now. It's like you went to like a fucking private
like even
school.
like you look at Quavo and them, they from Gwinnett.
North Side.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
come on, man.
That's dope. Like,
yeah. You got cats. It ain't just his own for his own. I mean, you know,
exactly.
Titty Boy, 2 Chainz and them, they from the South Side. You know, and then you got JD and them from College Park. So it's then the East Side, of course. You got Gucci Man and, you know, Young Nudie and 21. They all these have Future. They from all over. Edgewood, they from all over.
Man, I shot so many videos that were like in like the real hood, and like it was always straight, like shit you see on World Star.
Yeah.
And like we're like from the suburbs, but we're like, you know, the safeties are off. I'm like, you know, like accidents do happen.
Yeah.
But like the shots looked dope. But like this isn't like regulated over here. We're not on a set.
Payne, you said I'm really in this shit. I'm doing this.
So we out here is what I said.
We out here.
And they said, what'd you say? I said nothing.
We out here. Atlanta is a different place, man.
It is.
It's a different place.
You're making me get hyped about sports right now. Like, let's go.
Oh man, I'm ready. I'm ready. The Braves today, opening day. I'm ready.
You been courtside of the Hawks yet?
Yeah, of course.
Are you on the regular with that shit?
I'm not regular, but I've done it. I've done it a few times.
It's fun.
Yeah, I like it. The Hawks. I want to see the ownership like really get aggressive in making us a winner. We just can't be.
What do we need? We need a superstar, right? Like,
I mean, we have Trae Young. We got Murray. I don't know why we can't, and I think I do know, but why we don't never attract any of the big free agents? I know they come here.
Okay, so why do you think that is? Atlanta's awesome. What do you mean? What's up with it?
A lot of these guys, especially if they're married, they wives, they know Atlanta will chew you up and spit you out.
Do you think that they've been on the road in Atlanta and they're like, I'm not going to live here?
I mean, let's just be real, man.
Like
Atlanta,
that's
Atlanta has some of the most beautiful women in America.
That is extremely true.
And if you are the girlfriend, fiance, or wife of one of these ball players, would you want your dude to come to this city?
Down the street from Magic City? I don't
Magic
think so.
City, Blue Flame,
right.
Cheetah, the clubs. I mean, Atlanta nightlife, 7 nights a week, it's popping. It's somewhere to go.
I didn't realize that Atlanta had like a surplus of strip clubs until I went to other cities and realized that they only have like 2.
Between churches, strip clubs, and Waffle Houses, you'll find those here in the A.
Yes.
So we don't get the free agents here with the Hawks. The Falcons, I think Mr. Blank is a very good owner.
Yeah.
But some of the decisions since the Super Bowl debacle, I've questioned.
It's like we haven't never fully healed from it yet.
Yeah, I think we still have PTSD from that.
I do.
Yeah, I know I do too. So I think we got to start making better decisions, drafting. And I don't know why, as an organization, do we shy away from drafting players from the University of Georgia? I don't get that with such a strong.
Is it just a weird fluke that we're not?
I don't get it, man. Like we'll intentionally pass over somebody to go draft somebody from Eastern Idaho, a linebacker from Eastern Idaho. I'd be like, bro, so and so from Georgia
There's so
was
many
right there
here in Athens. It's like
they'll pass. I don't know what it is, man. Well, hopefully with the new regime with Raheem Morris, and I hope that changes. But like I say, Arthur Blank, he's won a championship with the soccer team, with the United.
Yep.
And
those are fun games.
Yeah, and I know. I just went to one recently.
Yeah, they're always wild.
And I know he's getting up in age. I want to see him get one with the Falcons.
I do too.
But I want to see him make some better decisions. His personnel, because I was always told over the years, you have to trust your personnel, and he's got to be able to trust his personnel to make the decision. And right now I just don't see it, man. Because some of the decisions that's been made over the last few years with the Falcons, I just don't fucking get it, Payne.
I mean, Kirk Cousins was here for one day and he got a grill. You see that?
He had $180 million. Now Kirk, between September and November, he balls out. But I don't know, man. I don't know what happens in December and January, man. It's like
there's just people who have always been like that too. Like historically, like is it like a choking? Like
I mean, Kirk Cousins can play though, man.
I know
he can play. I know he's in, mid upper 30s. And I look back to the decisions of the team. Like, why didn't we go for Lamar Jackson? Like looking back at, we might have pretty much got him on like a deal to like how the Steelers
Vic 2.0. Let's run it. That's the move.
What you just said is the reason why Mr. Blank probably didn't go after him.
Because
what you just said.
Thought about Michael Vick or what?
What did you just say? Vic 2.0.
Yeah.
He doesn't want.
Well, I mean, like from a player standpoint, like not like whatever.
But
you think that was part of it?
Shit, yeah. As much as we love Vic, I know Mr. Blank. I know they're cool now and all is forgiven, but that put a bad taste in his mouth and put a stain on the team, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because this is somebody he trusted, man, and he went a bit above and beyond to look out for.
Props to Vic for like coming back and having one of the coolest games in history with the Eagles.
The coolest seasons. He was like, second MVP that year?
It's like, wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but Mr. Blank, man, I look back, I'm like, why didn't we go after Lamar Jackson? Then the guy turns around and wins MVP.
I know.
Then now, like...
He's better suited in Atlanta, I feel like. He feels like an Atlanta quarterback. Like, it's like...
Yeah. And we have weapons. We got running backs. We got a tight end. We got
do something this year.
And got a pretty solid defense. Yep. So I just want Kirk Cousins to come in, win 10, 11 games, and let's get to the playoffs and see, because anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yep, we've learned that.
Anything. So, but I'm excited. Braves, Georgia Bulldogs. I'm excited, man.
Before we part ways here, any words of advice you'd give to the younger generation who wants to get into the music business, entertainment in general?
Yeah. I mentioned it early, and I actually mentioned both things earlier, and I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
Make sure you develop and cultivate strong relationships. Develop, cultivate, and really appreciate relationships, and hone in on keeping just good relationships.
Why do you think that's so important?
It helps you monetize things, but at the same time, everything is about relationships.
Yeah.
I stepped back from the industry, came back. The reason I was able to do that and transition right back is because of relationships.
There's always someone else on the other end of the deal, right?
Yeah. And people fuck with me. People like me. They like doing business with me. They like me personally.
Yeah.
They know that I'm not on the fuck shit. And that was number 2. Surround yourself with solid people that really have you in their best interest. Because there's a lot of fuck boys out here.
Right. Or like you could be that one guy who's not, but like your friends are bringing you down a little bit, man.
You're surrounded by people. So those are the 2 things.
Yeah.
Cultivate strong relationships and stay away from phony $2, $3 ass motherfuckers that don't see you and don't have you in their best interest. And that's really it. If you're trying to come in this business, I could do all the work hard and be passionate, of course, about your shit, but relationships, man. It's about relationships, man.
And say no to drugs unless they're like really good. And then in
Talking
that case,
to Death, Jerry Clark, Storytime with Legendary Jeremy. Here with my boy. Look, here with my boy Payne Lindsey. Talking to Death, man. Make sure y'all tune in, because this is one of the dopest podcasts around, and I mean that. So hey,
he tells everybody that.
He paid me to do that shit.
Yeah. I got his back. Yeah.
I appreciate you having me though. Like,
no,
seriously.
This has been fun, dude. Like, thank you so much for coming out here too.
Talking to Death is a production of TenderfootTV and iHeart Podcasts, created and hosted by Payne Lindsey. For TenderfootTV, executive producers are Payne Lindsey and Donald Albright. Co-executive producer is Mike Rooney. For iHeart Podcasts, executive producers are Matt Frederick and Alex Williams, with original music by Makeup and Vanity Set. Additional production by Mike Rooney, Dylan Harrington, Sean Nerney, Dayton Cole, and Gustav Wild for Cogito. Production support by Tracy Kaplan, Mara Davis, and Trevor Young. Mixing and mastering by Cooper Skinner and Dayton Cole. Our cover art was created by Rob Sheridan. Check out our website, talkingtodeathpodcast.com.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Talking to Death. This series is released weekly, absolutely free. But if you want ad-free listening and exclusive bonuses, you can subscribe to Tenderfoot Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to tenderfootplus.com.